Hi guys, welcome to the Gemini full moon, the last full moon of the year astrology chat. This is a really interesting full moon that we're going to be under. I kind of like the energies around it for it being the last full moon of the year because of the Gregorian calendar year, let's say that. The astrological new year is when Aries season starts, but yeah, so as we go into 2022, we want to be able to release everything that we've been holding on to. And things have changed dramatically from where we started the beginning of this year, even not, much less last year. Like this year's been kind of we had to have the breakdown. We had to have the recognition that the breakdown needs to happen. The breakdown has started. It's not necessarily where we are rebuilding quite yet, but there's this healing process that's going on with everybody. So it kind of depends on how you allow yourself to heal through this, to see how this is truly going to affect you. We have Chiron going direct the day after the full moon. The moon will be in Cancer, but will still be in a full moon effect. And Chiron is really very closely involved with this moon and is the moon's ruler, Mercury. So let's take a look. I do have the Gemini full moon meditation and Reiki. It's the last one of the year. All of that information to reserve your spot is in the description box. We'll do a meditation to help release our energy and open our energy up for new things. And then I'll do about 15 minutes of Reiki in the group. So it's going to be a really good time to release a lot of stuff. The new moon in Capricorn is on January 2nd. So we're really starting off a brand new year with a new moon. And so this is a great time to be able to release stuff. So let's look at, I wanted to make sure I had the right chart up. Let's share the screen. Oh, it's not. Hold on a second. Okay, we got it now. Here we go. All right, so here is the chart for the full moon. You can see the full moon here is at 27 degrees opposite the sun at 27 degrees. That's what makes the full moon, is when the moon and the sun are opposing signs. Mars is finally moving away from that south node. That was some pretty deep energy. It talked about last week, all of the energy being sucked into the south node, all of that Mars and Sagittarius energy. We didn't really get to enjoy the beginning parts of it because it was all just sucked into the south node and everybody got exhausted for a couple of days. So during this full moon, we have Mercury in Capricorn at 8 degrees, square Chiron at 8 degrees. Now Chiron will be turning direct on Sunday. And Chiron's been retrograde since July 15th. And as Chiron turns direct, during the retrograde, we were really met with the exploration of our wounds and emotions so that we could open ourselves up out of the protection mode, the shell that we all hold ourselves in. And so this retrograde likely cracked you wide open and revealed some things and allowed the wounds to be clear and receptive for you to be able to heal them in whatever area Aries is in your chart. So with Chiron direct, all of the spaces that we made with those wounds after being cracked wide open and having to witness it and see it for what it was, we had a lot of opportunities and moments when Mercury was square Chiron during Libra season, or while Mercury was in Libra, even with that retrograde, Mercury was retrograde in Libra, and we had that square to Chiron a couple of times, forcing us to reveal our wounds and process them. And so with this direct, we're going to see all of those spaces that we cleared up. But with Mercury square Chiron, this is where we get to witness the processing of our wounds. This is where we get to make sense of what's going on in the world through the wounds that we have to view for ourselves and process them. We evolve through seeing our wounds as they are and being aware of them and allowing ourselves to heal. I've been talking a lot about anger because there's a lot of angry people happening right now. There's a lot of angry people, myself included. I've had my own bouts of anger and my own bouts of rage. And there's always been this misconception that we're supposed to shove it deep down inside of us and not witness the anger. It's bad to be mad. It's bad to be angry. It's bad to be mad. It's not bad to be angry. It's bad to project that anger onto other people, especially innocent ones that didn't deserve it. And so that's why we have this Mercury square Chiron, because now we're able to witness ourselves nursing our wounds and not projecting and allowing ourselves to heal and not project them onto other people. And we can see the process that we do that. And that's how we can make sense of the world. And that's how we can make sense of our evolution. And that's how we can say, we can look back and be like, oh, I see now why this wound had to become a part of who I was for a while, why that had to be defined. And I call it the divine rage, really getting into and letting ourselves feel instead of numbing ourselves. Because once we come out of that numbness, and we witness the wounds and we witness the healing process and we witness all of the reasons why it had to be the way that it was, we stop projecting onto other people. We stop being so angry. We stop creating problems where there aren't necessarily problems there already. So this full moon is helping us to release that. And the other really cool thing about this full moon is it will be making a trine to Jupiter in Aquarius. And Jupiter is our expansion and our evolution and our abundance. Jupiter can be a little bit overindulgent sometimes. So be careful, especially since it's trine the moon. It could be very easy to indulge in things to escape all of the feelings that this moon might bring up for you. I'm not saying that it will, but I myself have had a very interesting week leading up to releasing a lot of stuff from this full moon. And wherever Gemini is in your own natal chart, that's where the moon will be transiting. And you can get some clues as to what areas of your life this moon will be asking you to release energy from so that you can open yourself up and move forward. So the moon, trine, Jupiter, and then on Sunday, we will also have the sun sextile exact, but we have the sun sextile Jupiter, the moon trine Jupiter, and then Sunday, the sun will be sextile Jupiter exact. And this is really going to help with that boost of confidence after the full moon kind of makes you, a lot of times those moon can bring illusions also because we can be harder on ourselves when we start to see all of those wounds. So I love that we get this sun sextile Jupiter and the moon sextile Jupiter because it gives us an opportunity to see the bright side of things, to see the optimistic side of things, to boost your confidence at the same time that you're healing. That's entirely possible to do. Just like being in a relationship while you're healing is entirely possible to do. There are no rules that you need to abide by when it comes to all of this. You can be happy and smiling and healing all at the same time. So you could also really feel like you're a little bit extra lucky during this time, but it's only because you put the work in. You're the one that got the energy moving. You're the one that started putting things forward. This is going to be a really good day also on Sunday and a really good time to learn how to work with other people. Gemini is a people person and Jupiter with the sun sextile Jupiter, it's going to be easier to get along with people. And that is not the kind of energy that we've been used to lately. So letting yourself get into that. We also have Venus starting her retrograde during this full moon. That'll be like Saturday evening into Sunday evening, depending on wherever you are in the world. It's going to happen overnight. And Venus will be retrograde until January 29th. I will link the Venus retrograde video to this video at the end of it so that you guys can check out what it said, what Venus retrograde says for your rising sign. But with Venus retrograde, and Venus is down here in Capricorn at 26 degrees, conjunct Pluto at that 1 degree orb. And this retrograde is really asking us to take a look at our boundaries and really defining our self-worth by who we are and not who the world told us to be. This Venus retrograde is going to ask you to look at all of the relationships you have in your life, whether it's with other people, whether it's romantic, the relationship you have with money, the relationship that you have with your career, the relationship that you have with yourself. And so in all of those areas, if there are things that need your attention, that's going to come up, might not be super comfortable. And this full moon, as well as this Venus conjunct Pluto, because Venus was conjunct Pluto last weekend and is continuing, as you can see, conjunct Pluto, and will conjunct Pluto again as we get closer to Venus moving into Aquarius in March. So it's making us dig deep. It's making us really, really dig deep. And if you're being honest with yourself, I don't even want to call it work, because it's not work. It's just conscious healing. The conscious healing that you're going to be doing as you dig deep into all of this is going to benefit you in so many ways. And if you find yourself in pretty tough spots during the Venus retrograde, I want you to remind yourself how far you've come, and that this is just about showing you where you need to have stronger boundaries, where you need to uphold your boundaries, including with yourself. This isn't about having just boundaries with other people. We have to have boundaries for ourselves too, because if we're gaslighting ourselves, we're walking all over ourselves, if we are doing things that we know are not good for us, and it's like a habitual thing that we do, being toxic to yourself is also a thing. In fact, it's probably more of a thing than other people being toxic to you, I would bet. So that's what this Venus retrograde is telling us. And this full moon is kicking us off with it. So a lot of self-soothing, a lot of nurturing. Some of you are going to be learning how to reparent yourselves. It's going to be a really interesting time. And I do have a Venus retrograde reading as well. I think I have a couple spots left for this year, but you'll have to check. I'll put all of that information in the description box. I love you guys. Take really, really good care of yourselves. This is a pretty big time. So make sure that that narrative in your mind is more positive than it is negative. I'm having to remind myself of that as well. So keep your chin up. I love you guys.